Let's go, Leeds United, Cardiff City, the Championship. It's like we've reversed 3 years, I should say. Leeds United are back in action in the EFL. Oh, I didn't think I'd be saying that again. I really didn't, but here we are, everybody. How do I feel? On the eve of Leeds United's Championship weekend, I'm feeling a little bit jubilant. I'm feeling a little bit optimistic, a little bit positive because, you know, the rejuvenation of a new season, the prospect of Leeds United going up with 20 points clear of second place is something that, do I necessarily believe? Probably not, but it's hope, isn't it? And it's the hope in football that makes you happy, but it's the hope that kills you as well. Leeds United are going into this game, a sellout crowd at Ellen Road against Cardiff City. Listen, historically, notoriously, Cardiff have been a bogey team to Leeds United. We can hark back to 2001, 2002 in the FA Cup, the Sam Hammam game, obviously when Leeds lost 2-1 down at Ninian Park. And since then, really, there's been a collection of Cardiff City being a little bit of a problem for Leeds United. But that was in yesteryear. That was when problems were occurring at Leeds United. But similarly to Millwall, Cardiff have got that sort of a little bit of an edge when it comes to Leeds United, and what a game to kick off the Championship calendar at Ellen Road. I'd say Cardiff are one of those sides where Leeds have got a little bit of needle with, maybe alongside Millwall, and yeah, it's going to be a fascinating encounter for me. Lots of things to discuss. You know, the Cardiff City team, what are people expecting? There's Cardiff City fans who are expecting top 6, I've read and I've seen on Reddit and social media, and even journalists in the Cardiff City region believing that maybe they can hit the top 10 and higher. There's other people in the football sphere who aren't associated with Cardiff who are saying there's no chance, it's bottom 4, bottom 5 settings. There's other people who are saying mid-table, so it's all up in the air. But I can hear you asking, Conor, why on earth are you positive after the debrief the other night, which was maybe a little bit critical? Well, it is because of that hope I was speaking about earlier. It's because it's the start of a football season, and the start of a football season brings with it so many factors. Which players are going to flourish? Which players aren't going to flourish? Who's going to be the top scorer? Are Leeds going to bring in any more players? What could we absolutely level Cardiff on Sunday 4 or 5-0, or could we be levelled ourselves 4 or 5-0? You're hoping not, but this Cardiff City team, it's a little bit of an enigma at this moment in time. I'm looking at the lineup and I'm seeing Shea Ojo. I'm thinking that's not a bad Championship player. I'm seeing Carlan Grant. We know all about Carlan Grant, but I feel a very, very Championship player. Brinamoto, obviously formerly of Reading. You know, Aaron Ramsey, a player in there who is a very, very good Championship signing. We all know he is, you know, formerly of Juventus, obviously formerly of Arsenal. And him coming back down to Championship level is going to be a massive asset for Cardiff City. You might not even rate his quality. I mean, you should do it Championship level, but even if you're not rating his quality, his experience, Champions League experience, you know, international experience on the same team, of course, as Ethan Ampadu and Dan James. What will he be able to do with this Cardiff City side? We saw about 10 years ago in the Championship, Craig Bellamy coming into a Cardiff City side, and he completely galvanised that team, and they were able to do wonders that season, or for the couple of seasons that Craig Bellamy were there. Obviously they went into the Premier League, but a Cardiff City boy born and bred, going back to the club, rejecting all offers, even offers in the Premier League Bellamy had, and you feel it's a similar vibe with Cardiff City and Aaron Ramsey. So could this be a little bit of a lightning rod for their season? I think when you speak to Cardiff City fans, when you see the reaction of Cardiff City fans, they are extremely positive, extremely buoyant about the season ahead. So it's going to be fascinating to see, obviously, Rawls in there as well, a decent Championship operator. So when we're looking at that Cardiff lineup, there are still players in there that we all recognise, not been arrogant, of course. We've been in the Premier League for 3 years. But looking down at that Championship, there are players in there who still have decent experience, have proven it in the Championship. And obviously with the addition of Aaron Ramsey, Cardiff are going to come into this game with confidence, and they're going to look at Leeds and think we can bloody their nose. And of course they are. Once again, everybody, we'll get back to the settings of this is why these intangibles, these things that you can't measure, are going to be a problem for Leeds United this season. And can I just specify, and I want you to listen to what I'm saying here, everybody. No team, Leicester, Southampton, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, whoever you want to put in that top 6 bracket, none of those top 6 sides will face those intangibles that Leeds United are going to face. And what do I mean by that? I mean the fans selling out most games for Leeds United, the biggest club in the division. I'm talking about the players who absolutely cannot wait to face Leeds United. And the reason I'm saying that is we saw Hull City. Hull City put out a social media post, a video yesterday saying, who can't you wait to play this season? No mention of Leicester. No mention of Southampton. 5 players on this video, including Coyle, obviously formerly of Leeds United, the right back who didn't quite make it, saying that the game that they're looking forward to most is Leeds United. You know, they're not even mentioning Leicester, Southampton, Middlesbrough. They're not even mentioning those sides. Now, a lot of people will talk about, well, Hull's not far away. They absolutely hate Leeds. But the problem is, everybody, that is applied to so many teams in this division. Leeds are the team to beat. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because Leeds being in this division is a harder prospect for any Leeds United player than any other team. Because they have to face the fan warfare, which is going to come when Leeds United go to any stadium. When Leeds go to any stadium, the sellout, you know, the big crowds that we're going to be playing in front of, even in these tin pot stadiums. The biggest sellout, we're going to see Hull, we're going to see Rotherham, we're going to say, I'll lump Sheffield Wednesday in there, even though it's not Tim Pot, but we'll lump Sheffield Wednesday in there. All these teams are going to see Leeds as the cup final. So these are things that we have to take into consideration. It's not all about the quality on the pitch. It's, can you handle being a Leeds United player? Can you handle that extra responsibility? Ethan Ampadu, you've just come in. Carl Darlow, you've just come in. Can you handle the burden, the expectation of Leeds United being that side that has to go back into the Premier League? We are a Premier League side. I don't give a shit if people come on saying, oh, you're not a Premier League side, you're in the Championship now. Leeds United, historically, notoriously, you ask anyone in the Premier League, we are Premier League bound, and we will be in that Premier League for a long period of time one day. We all know that. It's just getting back there. It's the journey to the destination. And the reason I'm mentioning all this is because I need players to be at Leeds United right now. I need players who are coming into Leeds United right now to be able to hold that white shirt and play in that white shirt and play for those 5,000-6,000 fans who travel with them up and down the country on Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday and Sundays. I need, when we're selling out at Ellen Road most weeks, I need these players to be able to hold that responsibility and deliver on all fronts like Bielsa's boys did. And if they do that, Leeds United are going to be onto a good thing. We're going to be top 4 minimum. We're going to be top 4 minimum because if we have this cohort of players right now, I've said that I think we'll definitely end up top 6. But what I'm hoping is we're able to keep hold of these key players, and where Leeds are a little bit imbalanced, we're able to, in the next couple of weeks, even past Cardiff, we're able to add maybe a Charlie Taylor, we're able to add a Taylor Harwood-Bellis, and we're able to do this just little by little until the end of the transfer window. Do I think we'll do this? I actually do. I think we'll bring in a couple more bodies. It's not going to be enough. In my opinion, I think we need 4 or 5 bodies for the profiles on the pitch right now, which are missing, and the depth, which is full of children. And I mean, that's it. You know, you look at our pre-season friendlies, it is full of kids. You look at Southampton, you look at Leicester, it's not full of kids. And this is the problem. This is why, for me, Leeds aren't touching the top 2, because it's not that Leeds are bad. It's not that we're going to be bad this season. But Southampton and Leicester have too much in terms of quality in depth for me. And that's the only negative that I'm going into this season with. But the hope that I was mentioning earlier on, hopefully that hope will prevail. I'll be wrong. Others will be wrong who are aligned with me, who I was actually quite surprised by the large majority of people who actually are aligned with me. There's a couple of people who aren't and are thinking that, you know, it's deluded and Leeds are going to win the league by 45 points. But there are a lot of people who maybe have the realistic heads on, which I believe Daniel Farke does. I believe this 4-year contract that he has, he understands that it's a process. This is going to be a process with Leeds, and this squad needs to be built over time. And that's a realistic and logical head. And taking that sort of passion merchant hat off where you've maybe just, and listen, football's subjective, of course it is, but I think the passion merchant hat is, you know, Leeds are going to win everything and you know, it's going to be an easy season. But unfortunately, I was seeing these same accounts say that we're going to finish in 5th in the Premier League after our 9th place finish. And last season, we were going to finish 10th to 12th. So anyway, but as I said, football is subjective. It's not to say that you were wrong. I don't think it's realistic. But overall, the synopsis, the conclusion, the summarising of this entire video is, I think Leeds are going to win this weekend. I think it's going to be a positive season for Leeds United where we're going to see growth. We're going to see young players come in and potentially get young player of the seasons, potentially get player of the season. I think we're going to add to what we've got right now. And I think Leeds United overall, in my opinion, for my expectation, are going to have a decent season. But it's up to the 49ers now to be able to give Daniel Farke those extra tools which can actually push Leeds into that top 2. But they need extra tools right now. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think against Cardiff, it's going to be a tough game. They've got wily championship characters. I think Aaron Ramsey's going to be a good addition. Ugbo's in there as well as Carl and Grant. And they'll have had a little bit of a push with the addition of someone like Aaron Ramsey, who's going to be coming in captain material status and folklore status and cult hero status, like a Craig Bellamy as of 10 years ago. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Leeds United win, everybody. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm buzzing to be back. We're going to have the debrief back on Sunday at 7 p.m. to go through everything Leeds United. We're going to have your review of the game. We're going to be putting bonus bits on your Patreon as well. I'm going to be reacting to everything Leeds United in short form on the TikTok. Before you leave, like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit. Come on, Leeds.